Okay, taking a look now at question 10 on homework 6. If you've been following along with the other questions that I've posted, you're going to learn very quickly that the main theme of this homework assignment is to just chill, that it looks like it's going to be insanely complicated, but it's really not. There are just a couple steps that you have to do for each of these problems, and it's just knowing which step to do first, and that's what I'm here for. So let's take a look at the function they'd like us to find the derivative of. It's this quantity 8t plus 8 squared times 8t squared minus 1, and that's to the negative 3 power. You're going to see the negative 3 power and freak out. Don't freak out. It's just an exponent. And we'll need it for the power rule, but the power rule is simple. So don't worry about that negative 3. It's not a big deal. Okay, so what I have here, I'm looking at it, I can see I'm going to need the chain rule, but I only need the chain rule when I have to take derivatives. What I need more importantly right now is the product rule. Okay, and the product rule says that we need the first function here times the derivative of the second function plus the second function times the derivative of the first. Don't know why I spelled out the word first and then started abbreviating, but anyway, that's the product rule. Okay, so let's start it. We need the product rule. We won't worry about the chain rule until we actually need the chain rule. Okay, so let's start over here. Probably going to have to write a little bit smaller to fit all this in. All right, so my first function, that's 8t plus 8 squared. Nothing crazy there. I just copied down the first thing that was in my original function. Okay, now I need the derivative of the second function. Well, for that, I'm going to have to use the chain rule. Let's write down the chain rule here just to make sure we do the exponent times the inside of the parentheses, raise that to the power minus 1, and then multiply that times the derivative of the inside. Okay, that's the chain rule. So we can do that. Let's take a look. We need the derivative of the second. So I need to bring down my exponent. So I'm multiplying times negative 3, and I'm multiplying the inside. So that's 8t squared minus 1, just copying exactly what's in there, and then taking that exponent and subtracting 1. Negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. And now I need to multiply that times the derivative of what was inside. So 8t squared, I bring down the exponent, that's going to be 2 times 8, so 16t, 2 minus 1 is 1, so I don't have an exponent there, and that derivative is 0, so that's that. Not a big deal. We just took what was down here, took the derivative of the second part, no problem. And now we need to add to that the second, so that was the 8t squared minus 1 to the negative 3 times the derivative of this. So we got to use a chain rule again. No big deal. We've got the chain rule right here. That's the exponent, so a 2 times what's inside the function, so 8t plus 8. And then I'm going to have to kind of put this down here on the next line. I hope you guys can see it okay. That's all going to be multiplied times the derivative of the inside. So that's going to be derivative of 8t is 8. The derivative of 8 is 0, so times 8. Let me write that all out in one line because honestly, this is what you have to enter into WebAssign. You don't have to simplify, you don't have to FOIL, you don't have to distribute, don't do anything, just enter this in as is. So that's 8t plus 8 squared times negative 3, and then we have this quantity 8t squared minus 1 to the negative 4, 16t plus 8t squared minus 1 to the negative 3 times 2 times 8t plus 8 times 8. A lot of numbers, but we just did all of those steps in a row and stopped. So this is the answer that you plug in. Don't simplify. WebAssign is actually your friend on this. It does not require you to do too many extra steps to get this done. So let's go over it one more time, though, just to make sure you understand what we did. We started by using the product rule. And the product rule says to take the first the first function, basically, that you're multiplying. So here's this function, 8t plus 8 squared. And so we put that there. Now it wants the derivative of the second function. To do that, we had to use the chain rule, but the chain rule gave us this. No big deal. Now we need to, by the product rule, add the second function. That was this guy here. We put that guy right in there, and then multiplied that times the derivative of the first. Had to use the chain rule again, but that gave us that simple little extra part there. And so, not a big deal. A lot of numbers, a lot of parentheses. Might take a little bit of double checking when you enter it into the screen, but that's the correct answer. WebAssign doesn't want any more from you. If you're not sure how I got to this, if you're unclear about any of the steps, if you're worried that you're doing things out of order, shoot me an email and I will help you through it.